Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us at this important press conference. I want to share with you a little bit of what we're trying to accomplish in the legislature. To give you some background, in recent years, we've discovered that some developers are poised to make a profit while playing by a different set of rules than the rest of us. They claim that they are using their land for agricultural purposes in order to avoid the city ordinances and develop the land on the cheap. Our current law allows property owners to ignore critical provisions such as the city's flood regulations and park space and tree preservation ordinances. Our state set out to enable farmers and ranchers to maintain their land in agricultural use. Very important part of our history and legacy as an ag state. But as the law is written, this agricultural exemption is actually making it easier to convert land into urban sprawl. Developers are paying cattlemen to park their herds on their land, so they may dodge local rules that were established to protect the public welfare. We're here today to announce legislation that would close this loophole and to allow our local leaders to protect the public welfare and put an end to this practice. With this legislation, we're not only fighting for fair government, we're fighting to protect the air we breathe and the water we drink. Bexar County is facing costly, federally mandated actions to clean up its air pollution, along with expensive flood control projects that you and I are going to have to pay for. The economic impact on taxpayers will be substantial. San Antonio must have the ability to protect trees, which provide $1.65 billion worth of stormwater management the natural way. And they save residents $84 million annually by removing air pollution. I'd like to thank a special hero on this topic, and that's Mayor Phil Hardberger, for his leadership on trying to close this loophole and for bringing this issue to my office. Mayor Hardberger.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to return that compliment to Representative Mike Villarreal, and I want to thank him. I've already thanked him privately, but I want to thank him publicly for bringing House Bill 2016 forward, and I fully support this bill. As Representative Villarreal talked about, we have come from a rural society, and we protect those that are in agriculture, and I'm really glad we did, because every member of my family is a farmer or a rancher. So this bill is not about farmers and ranchers. Farmers and ranchers will not be affected by this bill when they're doing farming and ranching. They'll have no effect on them whatsoever. Who will be affected? Well, let me mention another group that's not going to be affected by this bill, and that is legitimate developers that play by the rules of the game. They're not going to be affected by this bill. The ones that are going to be affected by it is those that try to cheat. They're the ones that's going to be affected. Here's the way it works, so you really understand what's happening. The legislature wanted to protect farmers and ranchers and give them the right to use their land as they want to for ranching and farming purposes. And so they didn't apply the same rules to them about cutting down trees. But what some developers came up with was the idea that they would either apply themselves or work through the farmers and the ranchers, get them to cut down the trees, and then they'd take over the land and develop it, therefore getting away from all of our tree ordinances and destroying our South Texas heritage. That needs to be stopped. And I'm a realist. I understand that developers' dollars in this case can sometimes mean votes. But I will tell you, Mike started this conversation by saying how beautiful a morning it is. It is. But you know what? It's beautiful. Look what we're under right here. These beautiful trees. And I will tell you that I will stand beside Mike forever when it comes to protecting our trees. That's the bottom line. That's what it's all about. We're trying to protect our trees here, and those who want to scoot around and find little niches in the law to cut down our trees, we're going to stop that one way or the other. Earlier, and by the way, this is not supposition, this has happened. We're dealing here with real experience of people going around the law, going around the purposes of the intent of the original agriculture protection, simply to cut our trees down and make $1 at the expense of our environment, our lungs, and our children, and our families. I'm not for those people. I'm against those people. They're going to have trouble as long as I have a voice in this city. When that was done, we wanted to bring an immediate suit. I very much wanted to bring the suit. It was brought to our city attorney's attention, Michael Bernard. He looked at it and he said, without some change in the state law, you will not be successful in that suit. So we had to back off of it. It was very reluctant, and to tell you the truth, one part of me wanted to go ahead with the suit, whether we could win it or not, simply because trees need allies, and I wanted to show that they have some allies. We will fight to protect our environment. However, obviously, you don't want to expend money and time and energy when nothing is going to be accomplished. So we asked Mike, as a city, would he be interested in carrying some legislation that would effectuate these remedies so that we can bring a lawsuit? And he has done so in this 2016. And what would happen is, if the same thing happened in the future as happened in the past, then that developer, once it becomes obvious within a 5-year period that these trees were cut down for a purpose and not a legitimate purpose, an illegitimate purpose, then the full force and penalties of the law will be imposed on that developer, and he must pay for every tree that he cut down. And he'll have to apply by all of the now existing laws and not get around them. So that's really where we are. This is a very common sense thing. Everybody that loves nature should be for this bill. As I say, it doesn't penalize the farmer, it doesn't penalize the rancher, it does not penalize the legitimate developer. It punishes those who are not willing to play by the rules. So, Mike, thank you very much for doing this. It may have a tough row to hoe. I don't know if it will. But while we're hoeing that tough row, I want you to know that the city of San Antonio, myself as mayor, and a huge amount of the citizens of San Antonio will be there hoeing that tough row with you. So thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you.